I love this robe. I love this robe. It's pretty, it's flowy, it has a little triple moon on the back, but unfortunately I have not been kind to her, and also I've owned her for a while, and I think maybe she wasn't designed for heavy duty work. Heavy duty work here meaning somebody who kind of like pulls stuff. She could be better. As you can see, I've already added this collar without a matching thread. And I tried fixing this tear on the back. I did not try well. So today's video, we are going to try to fix her better. A more reinforced and effective patch for the back of the neck, removing this collar because it's like uneven in places and it's not working, and replacing it with a new collar, maybe something that's even like a black or a gray instead of purple. And also I would love, she has no storage, so I would love, I'm gonna see if I can, without sacrificing the drape, install like a tiny little bag or like a loop to hold a wand, or like a tiny little pocket, and maybe also some sort of little tie here to keep it closed for days when I don't want to be tits out priestess. Tits in priestess. Let's see how this goes. Worst case scenario, I add a lot of structure to this garment and wind up with something that's a little stiffer but also sturdier. Best case scenario, that's retained. We also might add some trim, we might add some beads, we're just gonna make her more special. I originally got this robe from Molly Reamer of Bridget's Grove, which is a publishing house slash goddess school. And it's where I get a lot of my, like, how I run with goddess circles. She's coming from a very, like, explicitly feminist angle, in a way that some pagan traditions aren't explicitly advancing their feminism. And she does priestess training, which I've done. She's just a cool lady, and I will be linking her below. Let's get started. Okay, a very reasonable amount of hand stitching later, and we are here. We've got the collar pinned, and I don't love how stiff the collar fabric is, but I only have so much fabric in my house. And then here we have the back patch. I only stitched down over the... And there we have the back patch. The astute of you will notice that it doesn't quite lay flat. I should have, instead of making a triangle, made like a crescent shape, because when I put it over my shoulders, it like bunches up. But for right now, my solution to that is I've only stitched it at the top and then like along the tear to stop the tear from getting worse. And then I will be stretching out this fabric until it fits better. And then once it fits properly, I'll stitch down the edge. Right, he needs to eat! Okay, so the collar sewn on. Because, like I mentioned, the patch isn't the correct shape. I should have made it like a circle or a diamond and then just like cut a line for my neck. Collar is sewn on and pressed and looks very nice. Looks very nice against the patch. Unfortunately, the patch isn't really stretching the way I want it to because it is kind of a sturdy fabric. So I'm looking at ways I can pin the fabric so like I can control where the excess fabric wrinkles, you know? Like where I get pleats, because I kind of don't like the look of too many pleats out front. It winds up looking a little bit graduation robe. But I also don't like the look of all the pleats on the back. It looks a little not good. So on this side, in theory, there we go. I pinned so that all of the front fabric goes in the front and all the back fabric goes in the back. I pinned this to kind of split the difference. It's pinned so that, like, this doesn't matter. I think we're gonna pin it on the other side and then tack everything down. Or like tack the edges of the patch down and then once the edges are tacked down, I'll decide how much of this needs to be tacked down or how much of the patch in general needs to be tacked down and how much can be left kind of free floating. And I will start planning on trim and embroidery because this line of horrible, because this horrible line has to be there. That's the split. These lines don't have to be there, but I like the symmetry. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of figure out what we can do. I'm also gonna see if there's a way I can, like, weight these ends so that I know when I put this on, it's roughly equal. It's really easy when I throw this on because there's so little shape to it. It's like put it on unevenly, and that's not a cute look. Having little ties attached. Oh, God damn it. Sorry for the shaking. My cat rubbed up against the tripod. Having a little chain or a little tie here will help me do that, because if that's even, then the entire thing is even. But we'll just see. I haven't been filming any of my actual process because it's just me sitting on the couch, watching TV, hand sewing just a lot. Here we are. We have a bunch of little stars up here. I've been alternating between gray, like a blue-gray and a white in order to give us some variation. I have not been using a hoop in any way, shape, or form, which has been causing a problem. And I'm hoping to fix that problem with a really aggressive ironing later. We're just sort of freehanding little stars, little four-pointed stars, and eventually I will deem this finished. We're just freehanding a bunch of little itty-bitty stars. Some are just little French knots. Some are a little, smaller than my little pinky nail. We got these two big buddies. I used pencil to mark out, or like divide the space into rough thirds so that each third would have about the same amount of stuff. I'm trying really hard to not get many of the stitches on the underside, to sew just here, because I want it to be easier if I decide to rip this back patch off. I want that to be kind of easy, and then I will only have to get rid of all of these little black stitches, like the little tacking stitches, and these stitches which keep the hole fixed. God, every second I do get closer to just deciding, fuck it, remove this, redo it. The robes are done. The first time I filmed this update, my fucking mic wasn't working for some reason, so I might be retreading some stuff. I don't know where I left off. In no particular order, I sewed down the back patch with this nice little decorative stitch that my sewing machine can do. I evened out the bottoms and finished off the bottoms of the collar. I handmade these little ties with some finger loop weaving. This is heavily inspired by the ties on the front of my haori, which is a Japanese jacket that you throw over your clothes. I used the same embroidery floss that I used on the patch so that it kind of ties in together. We stitched everybody down, we reinforced the side seams, which got so messed up before, and I added my two little functional pieces. A wand holster and a tiny little pocket right there, which is exactly the size of my really good lighter. I'm so stoked. I love this robe a lot. I love the drape. I love the dye. I love that it's from a priestess who I respect so much. And I hated that I tore through the back so quickly. And so I basically never wear it. But now I can wear her all the time. I think it's really nice to have dedicated robes in ritual, in part to get you into the ritual magic priestessing mood, but also to help signal to everyone else that you are leading ritual. This isn't about hierarchies, it's about practical logistics. If you are marked as the one who's probably in charge, then people who might be feeling uncomfortable, who this might be their first ritual, or their first ritual in a while, know who to look for cues. For this reason, I think if I did any rituals that had a larger ritual team, I would want to put like a tabard or a sash or like a stole on, or maybe even just like flowers on everybody on the ritual team so that you know who you're looking at. Thank you for joining me on my little journey to revamp and upgrade my priestess robe. This is Kate Bogg, one of many lanterns, and before I leave you with some nice little vanity shots, I hope you shine bright.